Well, at the start of this save and season, this would have been a very unexpected event, a pleasant surprise, you may say. As it is now, we're actually disappointed to be here. It is the Championship playoffs, we face Burnley over two legs, and I'd argue the way we've played second half of the year, we're probably the underdogs for this one. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 8 of Built in Bristol with me, Daniel. We are back today for 4th v 5th in a Championship playoff semi-final. Of course, for me, it was jubilation in the 2023 Championship playoffs. I was a Luton fan who saw a promotion to the Premier League, and the goal scorer in the final was Jordan Clark. Man, we've got on loan here at Bristol City, so let's hope that's a good omen. We haven't come into it in very good form. It's 3 defeats in 4 to finish the league season, including that ridiculous one in the last episode against today's opponents, Burnley. And since January, we've been pretty dismal, to be honest, and we've been clinging on to our promotion challenge. There's nothing else to reflect on, so let's just go and get straight into it. As you would expect from the medical centre and the fitness point of view, Benarous is still the only injured player. Not quite back for the final if we get there, but will play a part next year. And then we've got players who have recently returned from injury, and there's 6 of them as well. And some usual suspects there. Mehmeti is constantly out. Matty James similar. Naki Wells not done great the last few months either. So let's go and get through the fixtures. It's Burnley, Bristol City. We are the first, no we're not, we're the second playoff to take place. On Friday night, it was Watford beating West Brom 2-0. It may be Ismaila Sarr and the boys in Wembley if we get there. I'm not confident we make it anyway, so let's just see how we get on. We've got a lot of team selection decisions to make. We'll be back in a minute to run through our 11. Well, there's a few big decisions to make going into this one, and a few of them have been made easier, a few more difficult by what's been going on. So firstly, we had to make the choice up front. Lyle Taylor seems to be over that rich vein of form, but Naki Wells isn't fully fit, so Taylor will start today. Andreas Weimann has also ended his unhappiness, good timing as well. So he will come back in for Conway and we'll see how he gets on. You know I like to have that pace on the break when it comes to the away matches. You know, Matty James fully fit is back in the middle and he's alongside Joe Williams rather than Ross McCrory. It means our 11 in full is as follows, just one unhappy player and one that's unfit. Is Nikita Hyken in goal? Might be his penultimate game for the club because his wage demands are still silly, and if we go up, we probably wouldn't keep him anyway. Tanner and Pring are the fullbacks with Naismith and Williams at centre half. Joe Williams in midfield alongside Matty James. And then Cornick and Weimann out wide. Scott and Taylor up front. Can we please have some outstanding performances today? Just turn up for 3 matches and play like you did at the start of the year. Our away form hasn't been brilliant anyway. We've got to try and stay in it. And we've got to try and take the game to them here. So let's say you can play without pressure. Everyone wants you to fail. Everyone wants to see Burnley go back up or Watford go back up. You can come and spoil the party, so make it your day today. If we draw this game, I'll be fairly confident going into the home leg. I mean, we battered them in the game we lost 2 weeks ago. And we'll never concede the 2 goals we did in that game again, surely. Because it was a 1 in a million thing both times. We're into the first half. We're going to see how we get on. As Brownhill has got an early free kick corner, headed over at the front post. Nikita Hyken's kit is certainly a clash with the Burnley team, but we're not going to worry about that too much for now. We're 20 minutes gone, he's the best player on the pitch. Burnley are dominant, but I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place here. If I drop my mentality, we invite Burnley pressure, which yes allows us a threat on the break, but also means we have to try and deal with pressure all game, which I don't believe our defence is our strength. And if we go stay positive, we know that we're going to get done in behind at some point. But here's a free kick for Naismith. Can we take advantage from a set piece? Reece Williams almost does. He heads it over the bar. And at half time, do you know what? This has been a very even game. And it's not half time quite yet because Naismith's got a free kick off the line by Lyle Foster. And that was the chance. It's been a couple of set pieces at either end. Otherwise, very few chances. It's cagey, it's tight, it's tense. But we're just trying to relax our lads because if we're being honest here, we're underdogs away from home, and if we come out with a 0-0, I think we've got a half-decent chance of reaching the final. The second half, though, it may start to go wrong, as it has often this season, as Taylor chips it away down the left to Lyle Foster. I mean, at the start of the season, we would have considered this an absolute miracle. We're into a playoff semi-final. We're forcing Burnley to have pop shots from 35 yards. But given where we were, there's that what might have been sense to it, and that little bit of expectation, and knowing how much we'll have to do in the summer, and how much easier it'll be as a Premier League manager, as Vitinho has just curled in a beauty. There is the individual quality in this team. Charlie Taylor at left back, who's not unhappy like Pring, and Vitinho with real star quality. I mean, how good is he? Better than ours. It's as simple as that. Brazilian magic puts Burnley ahead, just their second shot on target. And now the question is, will we collapse? Because we've seen our response to conceding before, as Rodriguez heads just over. I'm going to encourage. We'll give it 5 more minutes. I don't feel the bench strengthens us that much, so I don't want to make the changes. But I'm aware with the likes of Naismith and that, it's 3 days until the second leg. We're going to have to gamble. Though Alex Scott has got in behind. He's beaten the challenge. Back to Lyle Taylor. Magic. Lyle Taylor is not over his rich vein of form. My voice has definitely seen its best days. But Alex Scott has saved his moment for the playoff semi. Brilliant breaking running behind. It was a good pass to him too. And he gets there, lays it back across goal, and Taylor takes advantage. I'm going to replace both wingers now because they're struggling. Cornick will switch with Jordan Clark. Vyman will go back out for Tommy Conway. Look at the nerves in the team as well. Matty James has never got 90 in him. So we'll go for, I think we're going to go McCrory there, and we're just going to shut up shop a bit. We're going to go for a maybe central midfielder on defend, maybe a Carolero. I'm not sure which is best. I think we'll stick with a CM. And then looking into defence, we've got George Tanner on a yellow. Wilson will come on for him. And I'll save the last sub just in case Naismith breaks down. But I want to try and get him through the 90. And then he can have 2 days off training if he wants. Well, 5 minutes to go. It's a Burnley corner. It's been a really good display. But we've got to hold on for this draw. If we lose this game, I feel like the confidence will be deflating. Because we've only lost 3 of our last 4. So it's deflected in. That is not counting. Surely not. It's been disallowed. It looks offside. It was just a comedy of errors. And I don't know what it is about playing Burnley, but we have conceded some of the most ridiculous goals against them in these last 2 games. Thankfully, that one isn't going to count. Mark Sykes will now be the man to come on. He'll replace Anaka Joe Williams, and he will be a Mazzala on attack. That's too aggressive. He's going to have to go back to deep line playmaker, I'm afraid. We've just got to get the point out of this. And at the moment, I don't know whether to stay positive. Do we go aggressive or not? It's a long ball forward by Pring, and it's not a great one. And Cullen can hoof it downfield. Burnley have left 4 up as well, as McCrory brings it down. If we score from here, this place is going to erupt. Certainly in the away end anyway. As Muric goes for the big kick. Looks like the goal's at the other end. Naismith heads it down. So Rory beats Pring to it. And of course, oh, he's put it wide. Cameron Pring, why save your unhappiness for this time of the year, honestly? I'm going to put the fullbacks to defend. I think we're at the stage now where we cling on for the result. Fullbacks on to defend. Wingers on to support. We'll go for Tommy Conway in there. Might actually switch Clark and Sykes. I think that could work better. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality. We're going to time waste. I'm going to gamble here. I'm going to gamble on the fact that a draw is a good result and we try and win the home game. I honestly believe that's the best approach. So we're going to drop the attacking line as well. We're going to get ourselves into a standard formation. And rather than be aggressive, rather than be pressing, we're just going to try and get a point. Play a neutral game. As Harwood Bellis gives it to Cherlinov. He was the man who scored that fortunate winner last time, wasn't he? Rodriguez in. Oh, you're joking. How are you missing that header? Why is it against Burnley every time? We concede the most scandalous goals you can imagine. The ball was right in front of him and he ran past it and jumped beyond the ball. Oh my God, I can't stand it. FM23 cannot come soon enough because whether or not they're genuine mistakes or not, at least hopefully the animation engine will show something that resembles what's going on in the game. That was pathetic. The goals we have conceded in the last 2 episodes, just in the Burnley games, have been among the most ridiculous I've seen. And what a time for that. Reece Williams has had a brilliant season, but he's turned up with another special moment there. And we are 2-1 down after the away leg. Lots of positives, but you know how FM works. This will now count as 4 defeats in 5. It will count as a crisis run of form. It will count as very poor manager support. And the club atmosphere is back in the red. What a moment for that to happen. No reward for being pragmatic, although tactically, what can you do about that? It's a pathetic individual error. It's a ridiculous moment at a ridiculous time. Oh, this game plays tricks with your mind. Back in 3 days to see who's fit and get on with the second leg. Well, rather than getting the extra time off we're supposed to have, both games are just taking place at the same time, with one apparently not on TV. We've got scout reports coming in for players that we've been keeping an eye on, and we've got fitness tests ahead of the second leg against Burnley. It's going to be a bit trickier now because Cal Naismith, despite a rest from training, is nowhere near fit. Harry Cornick's picked up a knock, who's been a star this year, and of course we're now 2-1 down rather than 1-1 as it should have been. So let's go and get through to the second leg. The fact is we've got nothing to lose. If there are people who are nearly fit, they're going to play. Alex Scott, Harry Cornick, Cameron Pring. We've got to go for it. Jack Hendry will have to come in for Naismith. He's nowhere near at the minute. And that means that Zach Viner will come onto the bench. I'm tempted to leave the rest as it is though. The only other change will be Vyman, who comes in for Conway. Do I drop out Cornick and then bring him back on as a 60th minute sub? I think that's what we're going to do. Save him for the last half an hour. Do I go Vyman or Clark? Because Vyman has been pretty pathetic recently. Jordan Clark is a bit of a hero, but he's not scored a goal this season. He's not contributed much. Mark Sykes has on the right-hand side. Might go for him. I'm taking a big gamble. Mark Sykes has started 5 league games this year. He's been a super sub at times. He's coming in for this one. From the first leg, it's Hendry in for Naismith, who's nowhere near fit. The injured Cornick drops to the bench with Sykes in for him. And Vyman, who was atrocious first leg, is out for Tommy Conway. 3 changes made. It is the second leg. We're 2-1 down. Let's just throw the kitchen sink and at least leave nothing out there. Whether or not we win it, I don't know. But hopefully we can give our best. And that's all that really matters. We should bear in mind as well, if we don't reach the Wembley final, it will be the last time we see a lot of these players. We've got some of them in on loan, some of them out of contract, and some with some of the silliest wage demands you'll ever see. So let's get into the first half. We'll stick positive for now. Fingers crossed we can get a good start here, as we've got a free kick in the first minute. Tommy Conway, 30-odd yards out, very central, but goes for the effort. And a great save from Muric up to his left. It's behind for a corner kick. That would have been the dream start. We've still got the opportunity from the corner. James will look for Williams at the back post if he's got any sense. Does just that. Williams up. He's made amends for that header or missed header in stoppage time at the weekend. Reece Williams scores. Never doubt the youngster. He's a superstar. We'll try and get him back next year because generally he has been brilliant. But Reece Williams makes it 2-2 on aggregate and we are off to the best possible start here. Now, what can we do with the momentum? As Matty James into Lyle Taylor. I was offside anyway. It looked touch and go. Muric wasn't to know. Made a very good save. But a flying start from Bristol City. Now, can we make it count? We know our home form has been our strength most of this year. We've had the odd frustrating draw. But generally, when we've gone ahead, we've won games. You've got Burnley pressing 5 up against our back 3 or 4 here. But if we break through them, we could be in a very good position as Conway just does that. And he gets up to Alex Scott, who's in one-on-one. Oh, Alex. Oh, you've not missed that. You've got a man across goal you can lay it to. You've got to hit the target. And he's ballooned it miles over the bar. He saw his name in lights. And Alex Scott, oh, that's a frustrating one. Reece Williams knackered, and now it's the classic free kick. Look at this angle. Please, FM, for 24. Just do it so the wall covers the near post. It's the only job I ask. Vincent's going to take the free kick. Oh, it's a good save from Hiking in fairness. He got across well. And the wall does not do its job as we expect. But 5 minutes to the break, we're 2 on aggregate. And at the start of the night, we'd have taken that. Looks like it is going to be Watford in the final, but I don't think we need to worry about that for now. We've got half a game to go. We need 1 more goal. And we need to find a clean sheet as well, as it's a throw-in for Burnley on the right. Cork and Roberts, 2 of the experienced players. Player 1-2. Cork again. Back to his centre-half, O'Connell. Just beats the press and out to Matson. Down the line to Cherlinov, who's got a canny record of getting goals against us. Undeserved ones too. Lyle Foster in. Challenge from Hendry's poor. And Benson has thankfully put it wide. We missed Naismith there. Hendry was rash. And now Williams is knackered with no real backup of quality. It's an hour gone and we're at the point of do we stick or twist with some of these players. I am going to go for Tommy Conway off. He's going to be replaced by Harry Cornick. I'm not going to bring on Weimann because he's nervous. He's playing poorly. We've got to go for the players that might make an impact. And then with 15 to go, we'll throw a few more on. Do I put Ross McCrory centre half as is being suggested? Because Williams has genuinely got nothing left. But then Joe Williams in midfield needs replacing as well. So it's McCrory on for him. Clark on for Alex Scott. I'm going for fitness over quality at the minute. I'm going for Wells up front instead of Lyle Taylor. Could I even put Weimann up front? It might work as an option for now. I think I'm going to stick with Nahki Wells. And as much as I don't really want to do it, I'm going to bring Zach Viner on for Reece Williams. He's played very few games this year. 4 substitute appearances in the Championship. And his 5th one is probably our biggest game of the season and might yet end up being the biggest of the save. We don't know yet. There's 10 minutes to go. Jack Henry's picked up a knock. It's a tight hamstring as well. We now need to get to extra time to take him off. I think it's going to cost us as Benson puts it in. Hiking does really well. He's refound his form at a crucial time here. And he rolls out to Viner. Into Jordan Clark. The one thing I will say for Viner, he's homegrown at the club. He knows what it is to be Bristol City. As Jordan Clark plays all the way back to Hiking. Where are you going, son? Plays it out to Hendry. Get back in your goal. Wide to Pring at left back. Cuts it inside to Matty James. I am a bundle of nerves. I feel like I'm at Wembley watching the Luton Coventry all over again. Feels a bit like Luton Sunderland as well. I've got the playoff feel here. As Benson gets it wide to Rodriguez. Why are we even getting optimistic? We're playing Burnley. We're going to concede a stoppage time goal. We all know it. Here it comes. It's late. It's nearly stoppage time. And there's the Benson goal. Every time we play them, we let in a late goal. Oh, why did I let myself believe it would happen? Of course it wouldn't. It's FM. We're playing Burnley. We had the ridiculous goal in the second from last game of the league season. We had the one that cost us the other night. And now we've got, how many minutes added on? 4 minutes to find an equaliser. But with most of our best players off. And Hendry, he might have a tight hamstring. It doesn't mean you can't head a football. Pring gets the ball out for a throw. We've gone attack him, but it does nothing. 1-1 on a night, 3-2 defeat on aggregate. Do you know what? Over the season, it's been a stunning effort. But I don't know how we back this up. Because the fortune we had this season is 2 or 3 months before everyone started demanding silly wages or demanding to be moved elsewhere. We've got 5 or 6 of this team who want to earn more than most good Premier League footballers. And while that is the case, I have no idea how we get to the next level here. It's going to be more of a challenge than I thought, having not got it done first time around. We're either looking for lower league bargains, we're looking for players who are released and desperate, or we're giving in and paying stupid money, but that isn't a realistic way of doing it. We sold a player at the start here because he was on 25 grand a week. I'm hardly going to offer players of the same quality 40. Let's go and have a look at the season review. But that was bitterly disappointing. We were competitive, we're probably the better side at times. Those key moments again. We just aren't ruthless enough. We let in some bloody stupid goals. Well, here we go with all our end of season messages. It's been not even 48 hours since the semi-final. Weimann's trying to force his way out of the club. He wants to move to a bigger team. Well, good luck to you at 32. Off you go. There's a few I'm going to try and win round. But if we can get some of those big earners, big reputations out of the club, I feel it will help us massively. Not as many social media followers. I'm not sure why it would go down this year based on us finishing in the playoffs, but there you go. They want a top half finish, the fans, next year. The top half finish again for the board, so they've reduced their demands from a playoff place last year. Looks like a bit of common sense has prevailed. The end of season team meeting, well, we're going to tell them in a minute what we want to achieve. We all know the answer. We've got to sort this out. And it doesn't help that Weimann is one of the leaders at the club. It doesn't help that you've got people like Wells on massive 3-year deals. We've got to try and refresh this squad. There's going to be a lot of churn this summer. And I'm hoping it's going to have a younger look and feel with maybe 1 or 2 dots of quality come the end of the summer. It's going to be a busy window though. And it might be a frustrating one given our current wage budget. The end of season team meeting we'll do in a moment. We'll get through the training camp destination. And why are you going to the Algarve in Portugal? Save some money and get to the southwest of England. That's where it's at. Of course, you're going to get the heat there. You'll get everything you possibly need. Vyman is getting offers elsewhere, but nowhere near the standard we need yet. But we did get our budgets, and you know what? They're not atrocious. The wage budget, 250 grand a week. The transfer budget, just under 5 million, which may allow us to go and get 3 or 4 really good players from League One, alongside a couple that get released or are available on loan. So overall, I feel we've got the ability to make 7 or 8 changes to the squad. I think we're going to need to as well. We have a look at our current wage demands. Our wage bill at the minute is 254 grand, but our committed spend is 207 because there's a few more moving on. And we are, as we've mentioned, going to try and get some of these big earners off the books. You can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I want to do. But Wells will be off. Vyman, if we can get rid of him, will be off. Lyle Taylor obviously won't be coming back again. Matty James, I'm not sure about. He's a good professional, but physically he's miles over the hill. And at 12 grand a week, can we afford that for someone who's going to be a backup next year? I'm not so sure. Don't forget, Masengo is coming back from his loan. The big decision will be Alex Scott, who's currently going away at the Euros. I guess it will depend on whether we get that 20 odd million bid for him or not. Otherwise, there's a few others that want to move on. Pringer's got to reduce his wage demands or unfortunately go. As much as I don't want to let someone who's homegrown move on. And then the same goes for the likes of Rob Atkinson, Jada Silva, Jack Henry, who's finishing his loan. There's loads of players who are either unhappy backups or who are out of contracts anyway. So there's going to be a lot of churn. Let me know in the comments what you would do. I'm going to focus on getting younger players, hungrier players from down the leagues. And fingers crossed we can put together a good team to have a better go at the Championship next year. It's not going to be easy because already from the Premier League, we've got Palace and Bournemouth coming down. Forest or Southampton will join them. And it could get tricky either way. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on and what on earth our summer transfer window is going to look like, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We'll finish on the competition screen because the cups didn't go that well. And although we beat the odds to get to the Championship playoffs, we never really looked like we were going to win them. So we'll be back here in a couple of days for our transfer special for the summer and looking ahead to our first game of Season 2. If you want to make sure you don't miss it, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back tomorrow with our Build a Nation story, which continues every other day on the channel. And of course, any other specials and playlists you haven't found will be up in the eye above with the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. Regular Championship matchday predictions there. Come and get involved with your predictions for the real Bristol City if you want to. And anything else you can't find, including HelloFresh, our sponsor, down in the description below. But thank you for watching and following this first season. It's been an interesting one and a bit of a frustrating one. But on the pitch, we've done really well. Now the hard job is backing it up next year. I'll see you next time to find out if we can.